this is the special board meeting involved Vegetation Management Committee. And I'll get to the right page. Start with a roll call. I don't know my agenda. Sorry about this.
Things came attachments to go with this.
All right. Roll call, Vice President Cockrell.
Here.
Director Hannah.
Here.
All right. Pledge of allegiance, we'll defer that to the next meeting. Any public comment related to vegetation management? Nobody in the room, nobody online. No consent items, and new business is just annual follow-up of the goals and future projects involvement.
Yeah, so like it says, annual follow-up, I think we had this meeting about a year ago. And at that time, things were working as well, and then into the near future and years to come.
Yep.
So I just think, and I believe that it didn't have a lot of things necessarily to add to it. We just wanted to follow up and see where we're at overall, and your opinions on it, and if we need to take action. I think in the future.
Are there any areas where we're deficient?
Yeah, good question. So we, on the vegetation management action plan, the only kind of outstanding issue right now, two of them really, is the putting some signage up around the district, some large signage related to wildfire safety. Chief Griffin, the fire marshal's been working on that with some landowners. Getting signage up along the coastal area is difficult.
Coastal Commission, County State, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so that's still a work in progress, just seeing kind of what the long-term viability of that is.
And the specific to the signage would be community-based, like information on where to go, or
It would be messaging about defensible space, home hardening, fireworks, you know, wildfire go bags, evacuation material, stuff like that. You see them like if you go over 92 by the little Crystal Springs Reservoir, there's one there. Just getting some more knowledge out there on the coast to make it a little bit more prevalent.
and would it be neighborhood based? I mean, how many signs would we be thinking for the district?
Yeah, so we were thinking 3. It was going to be along the major corridors coming in south and north within the district. It is a much bigger undertaking than we anticipated to get signage up and approvals and people on board with it. So Chief Griffin provides more information on it, but it hasn't fallen off the radar. It's just definitely not been as easy as other items.
There's some space at 41. It's a very visible location, and that wouldn't require
Yeah.
district property.
Yeah,
Maybe that's a good spot to start.
we do have a sign there already. The
High danger zone level.
yeah, and then I think we could add things underneath that, like fireworks are illegal or defensible space.
But more pertinent information. I mean, I'm not gonna, yes, the danger zone thing, but I mean, grow up in California and lived there your whole life. There's really only 2, right? It's usually high or it's rain.
Well, yeah.
Which the rain is, well, it's been more lately, but
Right.
not that. So I'm saying people kind of, the information is needed down there.
Yeah,
Hopeful.
definitely. The other one that we've been looking at, we've gone a little bit around about, is the defensible space ordinance as far as the unapproved parcels and the weed abatement. We're making a minor tweak to the process, and that tweak is related to how we notify individuals of the weed abatement need, and then notifying them again with certified mail that they are gonna have project work done on their property.
Sure.
You just popped in finally, figured it out. Oh, I know what issue he was having, seeing what's connected. I have the same issue where your iPad will read out your phone. Yeah, that was the issue. Maybe what was going on. Can you hear us back?
So that was the other kind of item that was outstanding, the last hanging grab on the plan. The final thing on here is just working cooperatively with CAL FIRE and large landowners, identifying areas for large scale fuel breaks. The good news on that is, the Pillar Point fuel reduction project is completed, which is a CAL the CAL FIRE program, or CAL FIRE project where we partook in that within the district. And we will continue to help Chief Sampson and as he endeavors on these large fuel projects throughout the district. So by all means, that is not going to stop.
Yeah, and I assume also, I mean, I know this is the harder thing to deal with, which is the state, federal, and county structures of land that we have around us, which are all very heavily fueled.
Yeah.
And I can remember back to December that, you know, they were talking about where they were gonna try to stop it, and it was way up past like 92, if and when it went that far. There's so much fuel up along our ridges, which are state, federal, or county. I don't know how much we as a district can, you know, get involved with the conversation and saying, hey, I think this is not like a lot of fuel up there, but it's also quite carnivore and delicious. Invasive species, et cetera. Now, granted, we had some nature take care of a lot of it recently, when close to the homes in the last couple of years of storms, which was actually an absolute benefit, but there's still a lot up there. So, you know, I don't know how much the district can be involved to get out there and discuss with these other organizations, state, and federal, and county.
Yeah, so the ones leading the charge on this right now within fire and safe are our resource management office, Rich Sampson, as well as RCD, the Resource Conservation District. Those are the two that are really at the forefront of it. And they work really closely with GGNRA and SFPUC on projects in those areas. So
And county parks, for that.
in county parks, yeah, Corey Park. Yeah, so there is a mechanism there. The unfortunate part about vegetation management is the cost per acre it takes to get done is astronomical. And so it's really difficult when everyone sees all of the problems that are out there and we all want it to get completed. If, you know, there's a finite amount of resources doing the work and a finite amount of funding to get it done.
It's also like painting Golden Bridge. Like by the time you get out, it really is, it's, the maintenance is what you do, it's like, you don't do a shaded fuel break once you walk away, it's the maintenance, which a lot of people don't realize when they put it in these places.
When will this be done, it make cruise?
What we have. Prior to COVID, maybe, yeah.
Cut down the cost.
The number of inmate crews in the state is less than 25% what it was.
One of the big things that came out of that study that RCD did in El Granada was just reaffirming vegetation management is the responsibility of the property owner, and the single biggest thing that our residents can do is defend school space.
Sure, but on that note, specifically, if you're looking at the land, I assume it's mostly county around off private property, or is it?
Federal, county, and state.
Okay, but so you're looking, as we know how fire works, or some, you know, obviously in this room definitely do, but got valleys and areas where fire is gonna travel up to their space, and whether their space is then appropriately clean to the definition of the rule. If it's climbing up the hill like that, it's still gonna go through their house, so I don't know if there's been more involvement into like the El Granada area specifically, because there's a lot of there.
There's no, and correct me if I'm wrong, there are no requirements for those landowners to have any sort of clearance in any sort of methodical fashion that would allow the district to say, hey, you need to clear your land. Like, we don't have, the district doesn't have that authority, right? Because it's a landowner who falls under their own regulations. What we have the authority to as a district that protects improved structures is enforce defensible space, home hardening. And unfortunately, we all see the danger that's out there, but the scope of our power is really just at that level.
Is that the same with non-private lands? I mean, we're talking about federal, state, county in those areas as well. And do we have any mechanism in the district to emphasize or put pushback on when we're close to neighborhoods and homes, especially, for example, in that area, that's probably maybe Montero, some other spaces that are I hope that, but I think El Granada with the hills, I mean, it's a higher risk of fire and a very difficult combat process if there was one, right?
Oh, we're out of the right, correct, it's high fire.
Yeah,
area,
exactly.
yeah.
Elgin was LRA in the lower portion and SRA above the rim. Really the best mechanism for all of this is what Fire Safe does with our prevention office and all the stakeholders, is everyone recognizes that fuel breaks need to be conducted. It's they get together, coordinate based on what the priority is. So right now they're working on a plan for a shaded fuel break around La Honda, which includes a lot of property owners, a lot of agencies. And that goes on across the county. So I'll work with SFPUC to help them with their plan about jet management, and making sure they're doing what's the best interest for their. It doesn't go quick, and it is not as extensive as people probably would like to see, just because it takes time and money. But that's the best mechanism, is that Fire Safe Council carrying those large items.
So would you have any suggestion to us, to the committee in regards to this, for the board, that is there anything that we can do as a district and as board members to assist in anything going forward with this particular topic?
Yeah,
I'd say maybe communicate with Fire Safe Council and RCD on like priorities of the district and so forth, but to a major extent, Cal Fire already kind of does that on behalf of the district through our division chief that handles all that stuff. Is that kind of where you're thinking too?
yeah,
So
so
that would be my bait, is like solicit those groups that really do the work on the ground, but I think it's already happened.
Cal Fire's got the horsepower to push it as well.
Well, we just work very closely with them on all of their projects as far as.
Sure.
yeah, Rich Sampson, his 90% of his job is literally making sure he identifies plans, gets all the permitting, works all the agencies to get these projects done in San Mateo County. So he's very familiar with the high risk areas, the Organadas, the Rolandas, the areas that need to be prioritized.
Where's the stones that are over here?
I think for the district, I keep coming back to what's in our purview and what is in our mission here in the district, and that is the structures. The structure of the defensible space and the home hardening is what is required and is what we should be reiterating to folks, that is the priority. You know, over the last 3 years, we've done some pretty big work in lots that require making sure weed abatement is conducted properly. And I think now it's just A, maintaining, and B, reiterating the responsibility of the landowner.
Yeah, I agree.
That's good, it's that education piece.
Yeah.
So maybe that is, to your question,
We
maybe
can,
that is a big
we
driver.
can discuss that as being maybe a mailer, for lack of a better term, to get more information. I mean, I think at this point, a lot of people that live in these areas probably are somewhat aware
Yeah.
of it, but I think at the same time, it's not gonna be the first thing that people go through their day thinking about after their coffee in the morning, and I think that it's when it happens, I think often the public writ large, just assumes things are gonna be okay.
Yeah.
You know, there's gonna be a way to safely get out, or there's gonna be a way, the red truck will show up, or, you know, I mean, really, right? I mean, we go through our lives assuming that the airbag's gonna work and we're gonna be okay, and it probably will, but when it doesn't, it doesn't in a big way, you know? We don't wanna have a situation where us as a district has a big fire and something dramatic happens and first place is everyone.
Yeah.
I wanna make sure that, especially being part of this committee and looking into it, that there's some kind of mechanism or some kind of action we can do, or at least dig our teeth into and get involved with that makes a difference for the committee and for affecting in that environment. Otherwise, you know, this particular meeting doesn't really happen. I just wanna make sure it has purpose. Oh, I was just saying. No, please do your thing. That. As a committee member, I'm looking for something I can take my team into and have that effect on, you know, that causes change towards literally
That change, right? Yeah.
maybe we can continue the discussion
Yeah.
and find some things that there's a hole. It sounds like there aren't very many holes. You guys do have, you know, you guys, the state or the CAL FIRE or different organizations are all involved. And things, but ultimately, like I said, if there was something out there, it'd be nice to be able to talk to the community about what we're doing and how we're doing it. I don't know.
No, I'm good. Well, it doesn't come to an issue until somebody shows up at your door and say, hey, you know, we got a problem here. And here's what's gonna cost you to fix it, right? And then you'd have attention. All right.
Excellent. All right, with that, Patrick, I know you're on. Did you have anything to add?
Negative.
Perfect. Perfect. With that, we will adjourn the Vegetation Management Committee.
We got 3 minutes, you copy and